I started an all-female fight club because it was the only way we were going to survive. When the power grid failed, everyone said it would only last a few days. They were wrong. 3 weeks later, grocery stores were empty. Gas stations had been looted. The police stopped answering calls. Phones barely worked, and every night, somewhere in town, you could hear people screaming. My husband, Eric, had disappeared while searching for medicine for our daughter. He never came back. No body, no phone call, nothing. Just gone. I was left alone with 8-year-old Lily. Every night, I pushed the couch against the front door and slept with a kitchen knife beside my bed. Then, one night, I woke up to strange voices. 3 men were outside. They were trying to break into my house. My daughter was hiding under her bed, crying, and I was standing in the kitchen, shaking so badly I could barely hold the knife. That's when a shotgun blast echoed through the neighborhood. Not at them. Above them, my 70-year-old neighbor, Ruth, stood on her porch in her pajamas holding an old shotgun. "Get the hell off my street," she shouted. The men ran. The next morning, she walked over to my house and said 6 words that changed my life forever. "Nobody is coming to save us." By sunset, every woman on our block was sitting inside my garage. There were 12 of us, single moms, teachers, nurses, college students, waitresses, and one 80-year-old grandmother named Betty who brought cookies to every meeting. None of us knew how to fight, but fear had made us desperate, and desperate people adapt. Every morning, we trained in the abandoned church parking lot. Maria, a former boxing coach, taught us how to throw punches. Ruth taught us how to shoot. Emily, who was only 17, showed everyone how to build alarms and traps around the neighborhood. At first, we were terrible. I broke my nose. Sandra sprained her wrist. Betty accidentally pepper sprayed herself. And everybody laughed, including us, because for the first time in months, we weren't crying. We were fighting back. People from nearby towns mocked us. Some men called us desperate housewives. Others said women wouldn't survive a month without men protecting them. We ignored them, because while they were laughing, we were learning. Months passed, and little by little, our neighborhood became different, safer, stronger. We planted vegetables, started sharing supplies, took turns guarding the streets. Nobody slept alone anymore. Nobody ate alone either. Then winter came, and with it came the gangs. Entire neighborhoods were being wiped out. Families disappeared overnight. People came to us begging for shelter. We took them in, even when we barely had enough food for ourselves. One night, a woman named Jessica arrived carrying her baby. She had walked 20 miles after a gang burned down her house. She hadn't eaten in 3 days. Ruth gave her the last bowl of soup we had. I whispered, "What about you?" Ruth smiled. "Honey, I've had 70 years of meals. That baby hasn't." That's who Ruth was. And slowly, more women arrived. Our group of 12 became 20, then 30, then 50. Former soldiers joined us. Doctors, mechanics, farmers, teachers. Everyone had lost something. Everyone carried scars. But together, we kept moving. Then one night, they came. 8 trucks. More than 20 armed men. They thought they were about to rob helpless women. Instead, they found 52 women waiting behind barricades. Nobody screamed. Nobody ran. The men expected victims. What they found were survivors. 10 minutes later, the trucks were racing out of town, and they never came back. Word spread. People started calling us the Sisters. At first, we hated the name. Then we embraced it, because that's exactly what we had become. Sisters. Not by blood, but by pain, by sacrifice, by survival. 2 years later, military forces finally reached our area. Their commander stepped out of his vehicle and stared at our community. The gardens, the fences, the school we had rebuilt, the children playing outside, the watchtowers, and the women standing guard. He looked completely stunned. Then he asked, "Who's in charge here?" Everyone smiled, and without saying a word, we pointed toward Ruth. The old woman was sitting in a rocking chair with a blanket over her legs. She was weaker now. Cancer had taken most of her strength, but her eyes still burned with the same fire. The commander walked over and saluted her. Ruth laughed. Then she looked around at all of us and said, "We don't have a leader. We have each other." 3 weeks later, Ruth passed away in her sleep. She was 82. Thousands of people attended her funeral. Not because she was rich, not because she was famous, but because one old woman with a shotgun had saved an entire town. Years later, reporters asked me how we survived when so many others didn't. They expected me to talk about weapons, or food, or strategy.